and going to fly home for a little while and do some farm work. But in celebration of being in Hollywood, I'd like to play a little STP for you. Hollywood Bitch. And I was just telling the guys that I had tickets to this concert in Latrobe and went fishing with my dad instead, but you know, it's all good. So this is the Latrobe. This is the Latrobe Town Fair. Latrobe's a tiny city, so this was like the biggest thing to happen in Latrobe. That's for next time. So this song is loosely about Courtney Love. They were like best friends and then had a big falling out. The bass player and guitar player are brothers. Okay, so there's a cute little line in there. Rockstar bitch. Turn on the switch so fake that she seems real. So we're going to talk about how to build a video game, and ultimately one of the software systems you use to build that is called Unreal. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and I just needed a little musical interlude to set the stage. So two guys at USC, you've heard me talk. By the way, this is only for paid subscribers, and thank you for being gracious enough to like supporting us. And I don't talk about this enough, and I really should, but the little bit of help that like $80 a year, $9.95, like it pays for these guys, pays for me to fly. It keeps the whole thing rolling. Now we're gonna probably at some point get, tapped. Do you guys need some money? But we don't have to do that. We don't have to go to venture capital. We don't have to go to an angel investor. So if you would just help me triple, we have about I think you can see it online. We have like 325, 330 subscribers. If you can take that to 1,000, it like pays for everything. So then like everything else can go into development. And because you're a subscriber, you're going to see things from the inside. So what I'm about to show you is the behind the scenes thing, okay? Not that kind of behind the scenes, but like you're going to be looking at a user interface of what I think is one of the most important AI systems being built. And there's several of them. Grokbot's doing great. Not a big fan of Anthropic. I just went on about that. OpenAI, I think, is sort of 50-50 if it survives. Of course, DeepSeek and the ecosystem of Teamly and Chainopera have an API. That means they're integrated with each other and they share data with each other. But I'm going to show you now. You may be watching this just because you support Bruno and you like the edgy content, which is great, and the finance and so forth. Or you may continue to want to learn about things like blockchain and AI. Chainopera is an integration of the two. Why? Because you need a database. A big part, there's a computer that sits in the Iowa State Library. It was the original computer, like the thing we call a computer, from like 1937 or something like that. And the genius of the first computer was the memory and the database and the compute were separate. I don't really know what that means, but you can just think about it. So the compute interface inference thingy is the AI. The memory, the database, is the blockchain. I didn't come up with that myself. I learned that really heard it for the first time at Caltech a year ago. So let's get on with it. Give me just a second. I want to show you this. Yeah. Okay, just sit there and stare at that for a minute. This is the crux of the matter right here. There's systems being built on AI to surveil, kill, manipulate, influence. For example, if you ask Anthropic who's the CEO married to, it won't give you an answer. So how these systems work with Team Human. This one was built by an ethnic Iranian who's a professor at USC and the head of the Amazon Machine Learning Institute, and his protege, who's a Chinese national. Camille asked me this morning, like, who should we work with? And forgive me, but I said, fuck it. I don't want to work with the American stuff. I don't want to work with people who are connected to Palantir. So if we have to use all Chinese stuff, I don't have a problem with that. I don't know how you feel about that, but like, China's not sending a drone after me when I'm riding my motorcycle. Palantir? Not so sure. Seriously. Who would know? You know, just because you're paranoid doesn't mean you're wrong. But they just don't have an agenda that I'm worried about. And frankly, if we did this all with Chinese stuff primarily, and at some point we got from Tencent or something like that, I think we can. If you go back and just look at the 12 videos I made, like, I can provide the content. I've done it for 5 years. I could sit here, Emmett could go bring me a glass of bourbon and I could just go on till midnight. I mean, you'd turn me off. You'd get sick of hearing me. So the content's there. The ideas are there. The idea of me and blockchain has always been that. I just did a piece an hour ago on the financial system, and I'm like, our fucking kids don't I won't go into the thing. Sorry. We don't even build houses, right? But we can put $22 trillion into a big AI black hole. So somebody needs to do something for Team Human. Okay, you're a follower. You've heard the story before. Teamily, as the name implies, was basically discovered by Camille as she was working on Chain Opera. So when I bump over here to my agent, and there's many of these I'm not trying to like promote Teamly. What I'm really trying to do is invite you onto Teamly with us. There might be some stuff that I have to withhold for some sort of, I can't really think of it, financial reason or something, but we can all sandbox, okay? I'd like to have 1,000 people in here. Again, you may be here because it's cool, because you just want to learn about AI, because you like the project, you like the Team Human stuff, you like video games, you like finance, you want to see if I can pull this off. As you'll see, at the end of this, I actually said, we're making the output here as a video game that achieves Settlers of Catan in a financial way. The output here is finance, is decentralized finance. So what do you need all this video game? Because people in their 20s don't learn by reading books. No one's going to sit down with the misbehavior of markets and read through it, but they would probably play a video game that puts them through the 1929 crash, right? But here's how it went down. Hi, welcome to Teamly, blah, blah, blah. So I get on and I say, I want to make a crude video games with DeepSeek and Unreal, that's the video game software company. Can you help me sketch a plan? And this was when I was at Starbucks this morning eating my oatmeal. And there you go. I think you can read that. I'll sort of read it to you. I won't read every word, but build small, rough but playable video games, crude on purpose, scope tiny, ship often, using DeepSeek as your AI coding co-pilot and Unreal Engine 5 as the engine. No art skills, no prior game development experience required. What crude means here, gray boxes instead of art. We already have some of the art. You just watched it if you watched the videos. Placeholder sounds, we already have the music. One mechanic, done well. This is the feature, not a failure. It's how you learn and finish things. So Camille just sent this to a guy who's developed games. Like, this is happening, folks. This is happening. The DeepSeek API key is the brain. It's OpenAI compatible, which I think Unreal is an OpenAI project, so we are going to have some contact with OpenAI. I'm not an ideologue. You know, whatever works. There's the thing that writes the code in C++. Unreal MCP, I forgot what that, Model Context Protocol, yep. Lets an AI control the editor, spawn cubes, query the scene, run Python and Unreal, make sure that the cows don't walk backwards. That happened in one of the videos I just played. Okay, and we do this one, want this to be semi-open source. So I would be comfortable, and the rest of the team would be comfortable putting it on GitHub and say, hey, anybody wants to come build a video game with us, come join us. Now, the financial output we would corral in, because you can't have money just flying around everywhere. But you see what we're doing here? We're building Team Human to go do human stuff with finance instead of feeding the $22 trillion black hole. It just keeps going. It's like a maze. So as you'll see here, we don't have to talk about the maze, but this is actionable intelligence right now. Using DeepSeek effectively with Unreal. How do I add one question per message? I've learned that about using AI. Even using something like Siri, like you just got to keep, directions to McDonald's. You don't have to give it like your life story. Just go, McDonald's near me, and you sort of talk in like football coach talk. Okay, debugging, API references. Now think of how sophisticated. If I didn't have this, how much legwork this would take to get the APIs and then this, and you have to pay people and sign contracts and all this. Okay. It's all here. I want to get to okay, that's that. So then I went in and I said, I want the output to be, this is the Reconstruction, the Queen of the Goths, Lord of the Moors, like let's go build things and play a game and talk about money and sheep and tilapia and all, what solar panels or whatever, because it's all the same thing. It's just like to the video game, it doesn't care if you grow tilapia or, kill monkeys. It's just what output are you trying to get to? And it's sort of a Settlers of Catan kind of thing. So it says, great, a playable single-screen digital Catan, board, dice, resources, building, win condition, built by a beginner with DeepSeek as the AI coding assistant, and Unreal 5.8. So for you subscribers, I'm happy to send you a share link if you want to get into this. If you know people that like video games, if you know people that want to help build this, if you got a kid in the basement, like, doesn't know what to do with himself, if we get some traction on this, this is a big deal. If 10,000 people play Queen of the Goths, it's going to go. It's going to go. And as I look through this, I'm sure that some person with like some game experience is going to look through this and be like, yeah, we can pull this off. Tokens, all that. I don't have to go through it all. And I think I gave it one. Now, I asked it to move money, and it said, no, I'm not going to be involved in moving money. So then I gave it my project with Manus, and it responded, this was all just done today. I just wanted you to see like what the program is here. I will do the pitch a little again. Like, if we could get to 1,000 subscribers, we can pay all the bills. Okay, these guys travel. Camille needs some hardware. She just sent out a thing. We need $100,000 in the kitty, but there's stock and flow. We need both money in the checking account, and we also need the flow. Last I checked, 1,000 times 10 is $10,000 a month. That would cover all this production. I reviewed the Manus development history. You have a browser game called Reconstruction that was prepared for itch.io, organized on an open source project and expanded with the Legion edition community support concept, plus a proposed chain opera underwriting pathway. The strongest next step is to separate the project into 3 clearly labeled layers, which I don't have the answer for yet. But you can see how this moves along. Like, you could just sit here all afternoon, and I would just get it to the stage where I don't know what to do next. And I did this, if you guys remember, when I got on Manus the first time. We also have this more mainstream investment advisory app thing. I talked to George Noble about it 7 days ago. That's also, I think the team that's going to work on this is just going to take this off my hands, and because you're subscribers, you can participate in it. Musical interlude. I always forget, you have to open the thing up, then hit play. It's good shit. Okay, you may have noticed there's a lot of emphasis on music when I do these things. One, it's just to give people time to get in and out, set the tone, have a little fun, listen to something edgy on a Friday night and get everybody sort of jazzed up a little bit. I'm going to do a piece here in a minute about Billie Eilish, and how I love all this shit, all this. To me, this is the social media part that I really thrive on. So let me try to put this all together for you. The way the system works is everybody's going to sit around and talk about the Trump and the reflecting pool. Who cares about the fucking painting of the reflecting pool, right? They never want you to do something yourself. I did a piece on Foucault, who's a French philosopher, and it's unbelievable. One, he wrote a bunch of essays about Iran, and he said Iran has just changed the world with the revolution, and a lot of people took him to task for that. That was back in the 80s. And he said this is something very, very different and very, very dangerous. Anyways, you can be overwhelmed with all this, well, we can't do anything, Mrs. Rothschild controls everything, you know, the Trump, the party, the this, Nancy Pelosi. And his thing, I'm not making this up, his word that he used was agentic, like without any reference to AI. He said what you really have to do is not charge at windmills, but you have to maintain your agency. You have to maintain your ability to go do the things that you want to do. And that's really how the system works, is it makes you feel helpless. It makes you feel like, well, I have to do this. I have to put my life savings into this completely insane financial system because I don't know what else to do. What we're building here, folks, is agentic, like in both the liberal arts version and the technologically version. It's what to go do. So we're going to build Reconstruction out and Queen of Goths based on my hometown, just because I can feed it all the goods, like what does stuff cost, how many acres, da-da-da. I'm going to make the Settlers of Catan board the Somerset County. So the guys are going to be like, okay, you know, how much do sheep cost and solar panels and this, and we're going to put bird's foot trefoil on and this, and you know, Camille just watched my last thing and she said, boy, I really like the Navy nurse thing. Okay, we'll set up a Navy nurse for Somerset County. I don't know, we'll find the closest Navy nurse to the Somerset County, and she's going to be queen of the Navy nurses. And we'll somehow build that into the video game. I don't know how. This is the fun. So tag along, tell a friend. We could use your help, even if it's just like, hey, yeah, I'm glad to be here and watch it all happen. Lastly, I'll say, I think you should also start thinking about this in your own life, your own business, the way you're using all this technology. If you're a college kid, if maybe you are into politics and maybe you do want to really see what other alternatives there are, right? And maybe you want to build an agent to work locally. Well, you can watch us on Teamily, right? The Teamily thing, as the name implies, is for people to sandbox together. So if you want to go run, you know, an anti-data center thing in North Dakota, watch us on Teamily and then go use Teamily yourself. So thank you for your support. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the $9.95 a month, your ideas. And let's just go out all the way on Cracker Man, huh? Oops. So I'm going to go put my tie on and I'm going to go do like one of my church and state things. New subscriber. I think they're a little better than Pearl Jam. All right. Have a nice weekend. All right. One more.